Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to some more Zero Hour and welcome back to a Pro 1v1 game. We got MTKing. Yeah, MTKing. I always go to say MTKing, but that's not the way. It's MTKing, I think, or Mount King. MTKing down in the bottom left with the orange China Nuke. We've got him today against POPO, which is playing as the red China tank. He's sold a CC, but I know he is playing tank. We're on Canyon of the Dead is the map. Just checking if there is any cars here because that means it's an older version, but it looks like it's one of the newer ones. I'm not sure if this was from a tournament or whatever. I think it was, or a tournament or a challenge. But I'm led to believe we're on for a good replay. We've got 2 war factories, 2 supplies from our top tank player, which is POPO. And then down to the south, we've got MTKing going for a war factory and a barracks. It's actually going for a very fast prop. I kind of like this build order. I think this can work on this map. Maybe you want to think about getting a bunker there though. Maybe at least one bunker with a tank enter, but maybe he's just going to put him inside these buildings instead. I suppose that can also work. You just might be in a little bit of trouble if a flamer clears out these bunkers really easy. Then again though, a flamer can just flame down a bunker if it's got even 2 or 3 tank enters inside of it. Pretty sure a flamer could come up there and either kill it or at least do significant damage to it anyway. So yeah, I don't mind so much putting him a few of these, but he looks like he's going over here. I think that's a bit of a risk because there's quite easily going to be a unit there, a flamer or a gat that could shut that down. I prefer him probably a bit more safe, but you know what? He might actually go over and find a dozer. Here's an outpost. Battlemaster over here, and it's actually 2 outposts to start for POPO, and he's used that to get inside of the building. So he's gone inside of this building. This Battlemaster here is going to shut this Battlemaster down, and the Nuke Battlemaster, yeah, goes down. But the Battlemaster now for MTKing, making its way across the map into the base of POPO. Is he going to have enough to stop that? Because he's expanded to a 3rd pretty quick, which means he's probably cut the production on his units. But as soon as that starts paying off, oh, it's already taking damage from that. Look at the range and look at that gap under there, by the way. Battlemaster's going to get shut down without achieving anything. It might, nah, it's caused significant damage, but not traded off. I mean, you've got a Vet 2 unit against a non-vetted unit. Bit of indecision there. What the hell is he doing? Place the supply a few times. First Overlord is out. No subliminal messaging just yet. 2nd Overlord is already out. Now making their way across the map. POPO has Flamers out actually when he needs more firepower in this ground army, like Battlemasters, ECMs, that kind of stuff. He's actually trying to make a Helix. Helix is expensive for tank. Outpost comes in to try and help, but when this Overlord is healing itself, it's going to be an uphill battle, that is for sure. You want to surround that, ideally by like 6 Battlemasters, and maybe you should have a few ECMs in at this point, but yeah, I suppose making a Helix is also an option, but the problem is you might die right here because it's expanded fast and he's gone for the airfield and barracks fast, and therefore these 2 Overlords are absolutely wrecking everything. There are a few Battlemasters out now. Helix is out. 1 Overlord has gone down. Overlord might be hanging around a little bit too long. Does get himself a load of XP though, because every kill on every Battlemaster is getting you a load of XP. I think it's like 200 XP per Battlemaster tank. So you can see now he's already level 3. His CC should be dropped down ASAP to make the most of the carpet and the artillery. Overlord continues. This is a 3rd Overlord actually, but there is a Helix out now. So now is probably the time to bail actually, because otherwise that Helix is just going to get some free kills here. Yeah, that Overlord is pretty doomed, and now there is a Flamer in the base of MTKing. And it might actually get the cancel on the CC and maybe even kill 1 dozer. CC is going to be stopped. Helix is going to clear up this Overlord. CC... Did that get cancelled? I wasn't watching his cache fully. I don't know. I don't think it did. Looked like it went down to 0 HP, but yeah, I'm sure you can rewind it and just check if you got the cache back there or not. A Gat comes in to help, but the Flamer is going to continue its rampage. Takes out some trucks. The Overlord and the ECM has gone down. The supply is in play. Got Lotus getting the oil down in the bottom right. That's for MTKing. This flamer now is going to get shut down. I would like to have seen a bit of that micro there from that flamer. Maybe tuck itself behind here, do a flame all over, something like that. Maybe you could have killed at least one gap. Helix kills some trucks. I'm going to cause some damage to this supply. Both players now quite even in terms of XP, which actually I find that quite amazing, but it just shows you how many overlords he's killed. And after killing those trucks, he's also getting a vet to Helix from killing that building. And CC now being built by MTKing again. Popo now on a CC as well. We've got Lotus stealing some cash. Steals 1k. Very, very nice. Okay, supply is forced to be sold. Battlemaster's moving out, but they're moving straight into a bunker here. Do kill the tower, but one Battlemaster has gone down and one has been locked down by an ECM. Maybe even a second one going to get locked down by an ECM. It does escape though. I think the higher the veterancy, the harder it is to lock it down with ECM to disable it. If you've got like a Vet 3 unit, you'll notice it takes longer to disable with ECM. Okay, so then we've got carpet and artillery finally from MTKing. A little bit late, but that's because his CC got stopped. Carpet comes in and... ooh, I mean, it looked pretty good, but what has he killed really? He's killed an airfield and damaged some buildings. That's the real damage, because those can all be repaired. Artillery now comes in from the red player, which is Popo, and that's going to land on the prop. Helix now coming in as well, going to kill some more trucks and some more, maybe even the supply as well. And MTKing has got no air defense back in his base. Helix kills one dozer who's going to build a gap there. There's another dozer. Supply here being focused down as well. MTKing does not have enough money now to build a supply, but he does have one oil. The other oil obviously got killed. No longer on the map, and that Helix is going to escape on a very, very low HP. Now you see that's the difference the veterancy makes. If that was no vet, if there was no vet on it, Helix would already be dead, but Helix is going to get caught anyway and gets himself a vet 2 GAT instead. So game is slowed down a bit. We've got quite a lot of tanks here for Popo in his main base. Lotus steals a CC. There is another dozer though. CC is going to be sold. Okay, mine drop off there in the mid. It will make it harder for the tank to push out of his base whenever he wants to. Lotus is on the run from this gigantic army, but the problem is Lotus won't be detected unless there's another Lotus nearby, or unless there's an outpost or something like that, some kind of stealth detection. Here comes potential mine drop, and that's on top of the trucks. A lot of people do that, but also a hell of a lot of people don't do it. So, yeah, I actually think it's pretty good, because I've had that happen to me a few times where you get the mines under your trucks, and it's really, really annoying. You feel like you just can't collect at all, because you keep making the trucks, and it just keeps dying on the mines. Depending on the placement as well, like there it looks like these trucks are still able to collect over there, but yeah, imagine if they were there. Does slow your economy down a hell of a lot of size, does it, for example? Okay, so Lotus here now for Popo. He's going to steal building. I would prefer to see the cash steal rather than the building. At least a few cash hacks, and then you can capture it if you want, or just keep cash hacking the entire game. You can steal so much money. You can pay for your next army, for example. But there's quite a lot of tanks here from Popo, and he seems a little bit scared. He's just got a big blob of units here, not pushing out, no presence elsewhere on the map. He's not had the oils or anything like that. He has killed these oils though. This oil and the yes, the top one. Now moving in again with sneaky flamers, but there is an army here, and I don't think this flamer is going to get anything done. Carpet bomb now moving into the base. It would have been nice on our army, but of course he didn't see it because he's constantly under the fog of war. Propaganda center there goes down. Lotus capturing a CC. There's still a dozer though. I'm surprised that Lotus didn't get detected beforehand and by the outpost and killed by the gap. It is now going to go down. That dozer does need to be protected there by MTKing. Dozer won't die to the mines. It'll just set off the mines, but it won't take any damage. POPO thinks about just sacrificing his units over the mines, but then he decides to bail on that idea halfway through. Don't know why he isn't just force firing the ground, because you know roughly where the mines are. Even if you destroy just like 50% of it, at least then you can probably move out just by taking a little bit of damage. Doesn't always kill your units, as you can see. Okay, supply's been rebuilt. This supply is still going. An army moving out now for MTKing. Okay, this barracks goes down. Artillery coming from POPO across the map. I'm guessing it's going to be on the war factory or the supplies. Massive blob of red tanks on the map from POPO. Gonna head over here. Maybe engage with this. Could be a nice battle, actually. Ooh, I don't know how that supply has quite survived. Even on fire and smoking. The war factory there has gone down. CC now being built here by MTKing. POPO finally moving out across the map, but he has no anti-air here. He has no anti-infantry. No GATs or anything there. It's just purely ECMs and Battlemasters. So yeah, one air unit, one Helix could wreck all of that. You want to leave at least one GAT in there, because even one GAT ECM is still strong against the Helix. 99% of the time it will stop the player sending in a Helix or making a Helix. But if you have no GATs whatsoever, a Helix could just wreck the whole of that army. Also got to be careful of an EMP. An EMP could just disable that entire thing. Especially if you're in one big slow blob like that. Okay, looks like he wants to venture over the mines. I just don't understand why is POPO not force firing the ground. You know exactly where the mines are. You can even see, like if you pretend these red dots weren't here, you can see this part. So you've got to be able to guess. You know they're not that side because you didn't explode there before when you drove over it. So you know they're a little bit in front. So you can just force fire the ground. As long as you kill like 50-60% of them, you should be fine to go across it and your tanks will re-heal. Artillery comes through. Not quite sure what building was there. Was that the airfield again? I don't remember exactly what that was. But these two supplies are on fire. War factory, they're on fire. But it doesn't really matter too much because they can just be repaired. There is a dozer still. This army here for MTKing is now going to move into the main base once again. There's a hell of a lot of trucks here that can go down. Both players are not level 5 just yet. Supply is going to be focused down. MTKing is awfully close to level 5. He just needs a little bit more XP. He's going to get one of his overlords disabled here, which is big bad news really, because that's the bulk of his army. That's the one with the Gatling cannon on it as well. So that's an expensive loss. And these tanks now, really, they can just fight with this. Carpet bomb comes in, but misses the target, and a hell of a lot of units here going down for MTKing. There's one attack move there from POPO, and the whole of MTKing's army is completely wrecked. Why is that being detected? Is there a Lotus? Yeah, that confuses me. Why is that being detected? Oh, that's because it's POPO's mines. But it was the mines on the supply, but it's not. It's actually POPO's, and he's got an outpost here, so he is detecting it. So yeah, MTKing is now level 5. Could use EMP. Yeah, that was a very big win just down there, annihilating all of MTKing's army. Very, very nice indeed. And POPO is back out on the move with this giant army of Battle Masters and ECMs. Now, I wonder if MTKing has got an EMP ready. Unless I missed it, it should be ready. You also could have another mine drop, something like that. Support powers are going to be needed here, because I think in a head-on engagement, those units are going to win. The units here for the tank player. He does have the autoloader upgrade as well, which, by the way, makes the tanks a hell of a lot stronger. He's got some GATs in the mix now as well, so it rules out a Helix opportunity for MTKing. And here it comes, baby. That could be the EMP. It is the EMP, and disables probably 90% there of the army. MTKing now in a bit of a rush. Needs to rush over there whilst these units are disabled. He's getting held up a little bit on these few units. Potential EMP or mine drop here from MTKing. It is a mine drop. I think the bulk of his tanks are going to survive, and they're probably going to come alive any minute now, or any second now. Overlord is going for the crush, and oh, how many did he crush? He didn't crush that many. That was a bit of a desperation move there. Overlord going for another crush. Does crush some tanks. I think he killed like one tank there, maybe like one or two with that one. But either way, yeah, MTKing is getting up close and personal with these Battle Masters, which is not what you want to do as Nuke. You want to keep your range. Even with the Overlords, you want to keep your range, and the ECMs with the range, you want to pick off a few, and then you want to move back, pick off a few and move back. Also make a Nuke cannon, obviously the long range. Carpet Bomb comes in for MTKing and wrecks a hell of a lot of units. There's only 2 units left now. Artillery comes in. It's killed, what was that, another war factory or something? I think it was. And both players don't have a hell of a lot, you know. We've got like, what, 3 outposts versus 3 vehicles? That's basically what we have. And MTKing looks like he's coming out on top, really, because all of POPO's units there have now been destroyed. POPO's awfully close to level 5, though, so maybe if he gets like a kill on the ECM there, I don't know if that'll tip him over the edge to get to 5k points. At least if he kills an ECM and like a tank hunter or something, he should get there. But maybe he wants to think about if he can't squeeze any more units out, maybe you want to sell some stuff. You could at least sell this. That's actually just been cash hacked. You see that? MTKing just cash hacked that. At least now you want to be selling it, because you want the extra 1,000 back. Here comes the artillery. Where is the artillery going to be? It could be on that other war factory. It's going to be on the war factory. Kills the supply there as well. Nice play. Still collecting here a little bit. Still collecting here. Quite a lot of supplies left compared to over here on the right side, I mean. Battle Master's moving for POPO. Kill the ECM. There is 1 tank hunter left, and he just needs that kill to get himself an extra 5 XP, and he's level 5 then, POPO. Okay, more support powers move in. That's a mine drop. It will stop the retreat a little bit. Finally, a beacon now from POPO. He's actually completely mined out now. But there is mainly outposts and GATs here against mainly Battle Masters with 1 GAT. So I'm going to say probably the MTKing would have the advantage again. But actually, it looks like with some nice micro, moving the weaker units back, it looks like POPO might actually be coming out on top. An MTKing's unit here has been popped open. It's got a Vet 3 tank hunter, which is very useful for taking down the HP of all of these. Basically want to focus down the gas and then just use the tank hunters to clear up the tanks. That's why they're called tank hunters. But yeah, whilst there's a GAT or 2 there, you can easily just tear down the infantry. Okay, so EMP on the CC, that's going to prevent any support powers for the time being, and he might actually need some support powers. It looks like he's struggling a little bit against the zombie, but now that the GAT has been picked off, these tank hunters can reign supreme on the ground. The tanks will be forced back. And speaking of tank hunters, there's actually quite a lot. He's actually producing them from the barracks. Yeah, there are mines there, and that is the tank player's mines, so you just want to be careful. You don't want to be sending tank hunters over that. You could force fire it now, though. Could come in handy. Might save you the game later on when your outpost dies. You're not going to be able to detect him, so you might as well shoot him now while you've got the chance. Not like you're doing anything else. And the game has slowed down. There's just literally a few buildings for either player. We've got a power, barrack, CC, war factory, supply, and a bunch of tank hunters basically in a GAT. That's it. Got a flamer now in the base of MTKing. He's going to need to do something about that. He's got a GAT here, but maybe these tanks need to come back as well, because the GAT could lose the battle against the flamer, especially if he's going to walk straight into the flame wall, which he does. That could be an EMP. Ooh. Quite what that is. That mine drop on this supply again? I think it is. That's going to hurt a little bit because it's his only truck. Flamer is going to head over to the CC. It will get some damage done against the CC, but there's no way these battle masters are going to let that happen. They just need to click on it, and it is going to die. You might be able to get a significant amount of damage done, but pretty sure the battle masters can stop that. Here comes another support power, and that is an EMP. Disables one tank, but the flamer has somehow... Oh no, I thought the flamer had killed itself, but there's a battle master there. Okay, so EMP has disabled the chunk, and MTKing is now moving across with all of these tank hunters. 2 outposts here. I don't know if they're empty or not. Carpet bomb moving in as well. I think POPO might be about to die here. Tanks now going down to the battle masters. Sorry, to the outpost rather. And this is going to go awfully close. It is going to go close, but ultimately POPO is running out of options. He has nothing. He's got a couple of supply trucks in the enemy base. Both players on $600. 65, 600. Carpet bomb now moving in. I think that might be the wrong idea. You know, I think you need the carpet bomb to decide to defend this. I don't think killing that right now is going to help. Yeah, it's not even killed it. You needed the carpet bomb to be used there. I mean, it's probably lost for POPO anyway right now, but yeah, what an epic game right down to the wire. Should have used the carpet to survive himself. Maybe he could have used mine drop or something else to stop them other tank hunters, but ultimately it's a little bit too wasteful of units and a little bit scared to move out of his base. He had a lot of battle masters in his base for a hell of a long time, a big blob of units, whereas he won quite a few fights, but he seemed just a little bit too scared or a little bit too passive to move out and capitalize on it. And yeah, just a couple of times needed just a couple of gats in it in his army. He didn't get punished by a helix that time, but against the top player, when he sees you're not got any gats, he's going to start mixing in helixes. So yeah, other than that, GG. Canyon of the Dead, what an epic game. Tank versus Nuke. And let me know what you thought in the comments. GG. All play to all players, and see you in the next one.